Guys, I'm just positioning my phone. Give me a second. Trying to position it. Phone will not stay in the same place again. Let's see. Right. As most of you guys may know, an incident happened in Manchester yesterday, shopping mall in the UK. Most of you people are not from the UK and Manchester, apparently this black-coloured man, I should say, went around stabbing 5 people in a shopping mall in Manchester in the UK. And I don't think that's right, and a lot of other people don't think it's right. And the damage that it does to people's families and friends and people that know these individuals who have gotten stabbed in the UK in Manchester because of this crazy guy, and then they say it's a terrorist attack again. Remember what happened at the Ariana Grande concert when a guy walked in, a suicide bomber. This is a couple of years ago back when people were watching their favourite singer at the concert, a lady. It annoys you. You get these type of people in the world that think they can just do what they want, kill people without no consequences. And I thought I'd do this video and have some respect, which I have a lot of respect for people, and I have a lot of friends, and there's people that don't like me probably, and whatever. I'm hoping the people that had that horrible attack in Manchester yesterday in the shopping mall are going to have a good recovery and be well. I hope what I mean is I hope they're going to be okay. Obviously they're not okay. They're probably terrified and traumatized of what's happened. It's not every day somebody goes around with a knife outside and goes stabbing random people. It's sickening. It's like the London terrorist attacks a long time ago, and it keeps happening, guys, and it irritates me, and I'm sure it irritates a lot of other people. When will this violence stop with the guns and knives and drugs and everything? But anyway, it makes you think that life's very precious to you, and once you're here and you're not here, and you've got to make life the most of you can. Anyway, we're going to see what Boris Johnson thinks about this knife stabbing in Manchester and see what his thoughts were about it. The Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. All right, guys. It's very sad, this sort of news. I do apologise, guys, that not everybody wants to know about news like this. But anyway, I'm going to play the video.
It's been a terrible incident today in Manchester. What's your reaction to what you've seen?
Well, obviously our thoughts are very much with the victims. And it is clearly a horrific incident. And I'm just very grateful to the emergency services and to the police. I gather somebody has been apprehended, and I hope that justice will take its course.
Really
by the way, the man was 40 years old who did these crimes.
Cases, schools in wealthy areas will get more of a gross increase in their funding than schools in deprived areas.
No, what we're doing is we're levelling up across the whole country, and that's the £40 billion programme. The schools that have fallen furthest behind will see the fastest uplift in their funding, and the objective is to make sure that every primary school pupil is funded to the tune of about 4,000, and every secondary school pupil to the tune of about 5,000 a year across the country. I'm absolutely passionate about this. You've got to have an education system that is properly funded. The schools in our country are doing better and better. Pupils are performing better and better, but they have to have the funding to go with it. And education is crucial for spreading opportunity across the whole of the UK.
Yeah, we saw the return last night of Richard Ratcliffe's daughter Gabriella. What are you doing personally to ensure the safe return of his wife Nazanin too?
Well, I've intervened just a couple of weeks ago, as you may remember, with President Rouhani of Iran on behalf of all the dual nationals, the consular cases that we have in Iran. And I think that it is high time that they were released. And that is a point that not only I, but the FCO, the Foreign Office consular staff, will continue to make.
Another diplomatic concern, the family of Harry Dunn were disappointed about their meeting with the Foreign Secretary. Again, what are you doing personally to sort out that situation?
Well, I talked to the president, President Trump, and he was very sympathetic, I must say, about the feeling in this country about Harry Dunn and the need for justice. I think he's going to do what he can. I must say, in my experience, America is very, very reluctant to allow its nationals to be tried overseas, and is absolutely ruthless in enforcing the code of diplomatic immunity. I must say, I don't think it was appropriate for that provision to be used in this case. And I made that point to the president. He is sympathetic. I think we've just got to keep working on that and see what we can do to get justice for Harry Dunn and for his family.
Let's move on to the national questions now. It looks as though when it comes to Brexit negotiations, it looks as though we are now entering the tunnel. Do you think there is light at the end of it?
Look, a good conversation with the Irish Taoiseach Leo Varadkar yesterday, and I think both of us can see a pathway to a deal, but there's a way to go. It's important now that our negotiators on both sides get into how to sort this thing out. And, if they can't, then we have to be ready, as this country is and will be, to come out with no deal if we absolutely have to. Of course, we're getting with our priorities, the priorities of this government, funding our NHS properly, improving healthcare in this country, and levelling up education provision across the whole country.
There does seem to have been a huge change in tone, particularly from the Irish in the past 24 hours. What is it that you've offered the EU by way of concessions?
Well, we are working very hard to get a deal, but I want to stress that if we can't get a deal, if we can't get the right way forward for the whole of the UK, Northern Ireland included, then clearly that will mean that we have to come out on different terms, or have to come out without an agreement. But I think the best thing we can do now is let our negotiators get on with it and do their work.
So you're not going to tell me what the concessions are that you've offered the EU. There's a lot of speculation about them, though. Can you still promise, for example, that Northern Ireland will come out of the EU customs union?
Well, I can certainly tell you that under no circumstances will we see anything that damages the ability of the whole of the United Kingdom to take full advantage of Brexit. And I think that's what people would expect. And that's what I think we can achieve. But the best thing now really would be for the negotiators to get on and do their job.
Just one last try on Brexit. Can you tell me categorically that Northern Ireland is leaving the EU customs union?
I think it would be wrong of me to give a running commentary on the negotiations, and why, with greatest possible respect, I think look at everything that I've said previously. I think you can draw your own conclusions from that, but let's let our negotiators get on. I think where Leo Varadkar and I got to yesterday was a joint feel that there is a way forward, that we can see a pathway to a deal. That doesn't mean it's a done deal, so there's work to be done.
Now, that's Boris Johnson's speech. We're going to try and find, let's have a look here. Okay, just a stabbing today. As you guys can see what I'm showing you now, this is the armed police today, so there we go. A Manchester stabbing yesterday, this was, not today. They were people who've been stabbed in their attack in a shopping centre in Manchester. Police trusted and holded the... There's all the police running down in Manchester shopping mall. Police arrived at the centre and people were evacuated. Rebecca Day, officer, turned on location. Police helicopter in the sky. A police helicopter hovers ahead. Emergency scene, and so some people were taken to hospital. The investigation is ongoing. Grenada news. It's a shame, really, but people do silly things, don't they? Manchester, UK. I mean, for some of you guys have probably not seen this yet, or most of you have. Some of you people don't watch the news. Right, so I've seen enough of that.
7:15 a.m. this morning, a man entered the Arndale shopping centre in Manchester city centre. He was armed with a large knife, and as he entered Exchange Court, he began lunging and attacking people with the knife. Two unarmed police community support officers were in Exchange Court and attempted to confront the attacker. He then chased them with a knife as they were calling for urgent assistance. The man attacked people around him, and we understand 5 people were injured by him. Although the injuries are nasty, we are told that thankfully none are life-threatening. We have arrested the man, a male in his 40s, on suspicion of terrorism because of the nature and circumstances of this attack. This is bound to bring back memories of the awful events of 2017. At this time, we do not believe that there is anyone else involved in this attack, but we will be constantly keeping this under review.
Well,
first this hour, we're taking you to the UK to get the latest from Manchester this hour. Police there say 5 people have been stabbed in the northwestern city this Friday. Emergency services were called to the scene of that incident at the Arndale shopping centre. Counter-terrorism police have now taken over the investigation, and the British Prime Minister has reacted by saying that he's shocked by the incident. For more, we can bring in our UK correspondent, Benedict Pavio, who's standing by. Benedict, this stabbing took place just a couple of hours ago. What more do we know at this hour?
Well, what we know is that a stabbing did indeed take place. The ambulance service said they were called around 11:17 a.m. local time to a stabbing incident. We know that according to counter-terror police who are investigating this incident, serious incident in Manchester, 5 people were stabbed at a shopping centre in Manchester. It's the Arndale shopping centre, very frequented, and of course now it has been evacuated. So the police have confirmed that 5 people have been stabbed, have confirmed that they've been taken to hospital. They've also confirmed that they've arrested a man in his 40s on suspicion, they say, of serious assault. He remains in custody for questioning. Of course, police say that in these early stages, they're keeping an open mind about the motivation of what they call this terrible incident and the circumstances. They say that given the location of the incident in this shopping centre and its nature, officers from Counter-Terrorism Police Northwest are leading an investigation to determine the circumstances. Certainly a local shop worker who just had begun working days ago in the Arndale shopping centre described a man running around with a knife, lunging at multiple people.
Okay, Benedict Pavio, our correspondent there in London, thank you very much for that update on that stabbing that's taken place this Friday in Manchester.
people, eh?
On the ground, tasered and arrested as police move in after reports of a man lunging at people with a knife at Manchester's Arndale shopping centre just after 11:15 this morning. These images filmed from a passing bus. Officers clearing the malls where thousands of shoppers had just been at the start of the weekend. and emergency medical treatment inside the centre for some of those caught up in what happened.
So as we started walking in, there were a lot of screaming and commotion and people started running out. We weren't sure what it was. And then, a matter of minutes, the police were on the scene and the paramedics.
Police described the attack as truly shocking and said a 19-year-old woman and a man in his 50s were among the wounded, but that none of the injuries were life-threatening.
We do not know the motivation for this terrible attack. It appears random, it's certainly brutal, and of course extremely frightening for anyone who witnessed it. We have arrested the man, a male in his 40s, on suspicion of terrorism because of the nature and circumstances of this attack.
Bombing 2 years ago, and was itself targeted in the mid-90s in a terror attack. Once again, the heart of this city reacting to unfolding events and a new investigation.
Well, the police obviously will be looking at his background. If this does become a full terrorist inquiry, then they will want to know who he's been communicating with, what he's been reading on the internet, what he's been doing, his background, talk to the people that know him.
Tonight, as the city takes stock, the message to Manchester that's come to mean so much is being repeated loud and clear. Bedridden, in extreme pain, and not able to even wash himself, 15-year-old Kieran has a condition most people have never heard of: complex regional pain syndrome.
I thought that was something to do with the Manchester bombing, but it's not.
Well, there is, of course, a significant police presence in the city centre there, as there always would be, an armed response as well, who have attended this incident. We can confirm now through Greater Manchester Police that 5 people have been stabbed and taken to hospital. Police say they're keeping an open mind about the potential motivation, but they have confirmed to us now that the Northwest Counter-Terrorism Command Unit, based in Manchester, is leading this investigation while they try to determine the circumstances of what exactly happened here and what the potential motivation is. We know that there is a man in his 40s who has been arrested, detained at the scene. There are pic ratings showing that man on the ground with officers armed with taser over that man as they effect an arrest. He has been taken into police custody now. It's very early on in this incident, so understandable that police are approaching this through an abundance of caution in terms of determining what the actual motivation is. They probably have no real idea until they can get a conversation, a chat with this man, and we don't know whether this man will be compliant with that, whether he will say anything to the police. Sometimes individuals arrested in violent incidents like this just don't speak, so it takes a while for the police to dig into the background of an individual to be able to determine what the potential motivation was. But this is clearly a very serious incident that has unfolded at the Arndale Shopping Centre in Manchester city centre. Confirmation now from Greater Manchester Police that 5 people were stabbed in this multiple stabbing attack. They have been treated at the scene, have been taken to hospital. We don't know at this stage just how serious any of those injuries are. Again, it's early stages. That will come in updates from Greater Manchester Police as they gather more information. But what you'll see now is a very significant emergency service response in the area. The casualties, those who have been injured, have been dealt with. So now it's really about securing the area, trying to determine whether there are any other individuals that the police need to control, whether there are other suspects at large. Again, they will have in their minds what has happened in recent months and recent years in this country with terrorist attacks that have involved vehicles and suspects with knives. And if you look back to the likes of London Bridge, there wasn't just one suspect. There were 3 terrorists involved in that incident. It took a number of hours before police were fully satisfied that all of those who were involved in the attacks had been accounted for. It's likely that we will see a protracted police operation around the Arndale Centre with those police reinforcements just checking the area, checking CCTV, of course, speaking to eyewitnesses and making sure and satisfying themselves that the one individual they have in custody, this man in his 40s, is the only suspect that they need to be concerned about. Then they can get into what the potential motivation for the actual attack was. But at this hour, Greater Manchester Police now confirming to us that 5 people have been stabbed in this incident and that the incident is being coordinated and led by the Counter-Terrorism Command for the Northwest, which is based in Manchester. The motivation, though, they say still at this stage remains unknown, but they are keeping an open mind.
It annoys you, doesn't it? It does, yeah. I'm just going to pause this a minute while I go outside. I'm just a bit annoyed at something, mate. What are you up for? I've had to pause that just for a second. I can't find it. Where's your bag? You look for your carry bag or? Yeah, I just need to. I'm looking for something. I've had to pause. The video's still going, but. I'm still here, just got things to do. Like. So yeah, I'm still playing my videos and stuff. So to post them. Now I just talked about what happened at the Manchester thing. You know, it's very saddening news and that. Well, it's just sad, isn't it? You know, you get sad news, don't you? Seeing what's. I'm just doing a video of what happened here. Oh, we're watching 4 hours of it. It makes you think of all the stuff that's happened. There wasn't much to go on by about the Manchester terrible news, but I hope you've all enjoyed it. You know, it's terrible, but
Before we launch, I want you to take a good look around. It's beautiful here, don't you think? Now, you may not recognise it, but...
well, that's something different. Yep. Yeah, that's the way it is, bro. Let's do it. leave like, you know, well, I've just done a quick video of this, yeah, so I might just end the video there. I did get a bit annoyed about things, yeah, but I've filmed most of it, so no. I hope you all enjoyed the video, guys. It's very terrible what's happened on this video, but give it some thought, you know. It happens, and I don't know what to say about this video, but I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me. Peace. And please like, comment, subscribe.